All right, welcome to DCT.
Episode 5. Ben, what do you think Jason Statham is more scared of? The Megalodon or his hairline?
Does he have a hairline?
That's what's so scary. All right, let's get right into it. Current event. Went to the Caps game.
Yeah, how was
Florida
that?
game. It was very good. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
We were late because I went with my girlfriend. That's just standard. But we didn't
Typical.
miss puck drop, so we weren't too late. But it was a good game. I was not impressed with the first period. I thought we looked way too power hungry.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, just going back and forth. I don't like trading goals, especially against a team like Florida.
It was 3-3.
Yeah, 6 goals first period.
Wow.
And all the Caps goals were the exact same. You know, all of those goals were scored in the neutral zone. It's a great pass from our blue line, straight down the middle. We get a break, and it's 1-0. You know, it's a breakaway every time.
Yeah.
McMichael had a gorgeous goal. Bevillier's was fantastic. It was good to see. We did not play strong after we scored. We were relaxed. That's why they pumped us every single time. You know, we'd get a goal, and then they'd come right back. So I didn't like that. But the second period and the third period, we dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, we made Florida look silly, I thought.
Well, Strome and Wilson both had great games, right?
Yeah, and Willie's goal in that second period right off the faceoff, that was the nail in the coffin. Even though that only made it 4-3,
Yeah.
that looked like a momentum shift. And it happens when you come out of the locker room, you're psyched up to go. And when the other team just bops you on the head like that,
Yeah.
it's not a good look. I don't think Maurice was happy with his team's performance. But that Seth Jones trade that Florida made, that's looking bad. Because
Yeah.
he's looked bad in every game, but that was another low. I mean, that trade is worse than, like, Reading Terminal for, like, Park Place. This is, like, it's getting bad, dude.
Yeah. But
I don't think they're happy with that.
Florida also hasn't seen Marchand play.
You haven't
Correct.
had Marchand or Kachuk in a while.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to be bad in the playoffs.
No.
You know, they're just having a rough go of it right now. You know, you're missing your top players.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. But I thought that Caps game was fantastic.
The atmosphere was amazing.
Atmosphere was good.
Okay.
Brings me to one thing. What do you think of fans imparting their opinions the entire game?
Like fans getting into the game.
You could call it that.
I think it's great.
Okay.
Do you not?
It's all right. I'm all right with it to an extent. I don't need to hear everything that you're thinking.
Are you saying that you don't want fans to be talking when they're at the games?
If there's an emergency, they can talk, but...
The fans that pay hundreds of dollars to go to these games.
Well, let me ask you this. If you paid $100, do you want to sit next to a slob bash your team when he says he's a fan?
He more than...
No, he's not more... No, because we live in a society, and you can't just voice everything that comes to your head.
Actually, that's called freedom of speech.
Well, I'm very against that then because I did not pay money to sit next to a moron. So, no, you should not be allowed to talk.
Oh,
In my dream world, I would hear nothing but the puck and the players on the ice. That'd be fantastic.
So, like, when you're a high seed in the playoffs and you have home court advantage, home ice advantage, if you will, that you just don't want that to be a thing?
What I'm saying is I wish I was deaf. Okay. I just don't want to hear anyone that I don't want to hear.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to deal with that a lot in life.
Well, I don't like life either. All right. Moving on.
So, March Madness, huh?
Hey, how about us?
We've been great.
How about our
We picked
picks,
4
man?
teams to do well. Now,
These are the only things that we've ever picked in life that are doing well. This is exciting.
well, 2 of them were expected to be
Yes,
great.
our Florida and our Duke pick was pretty standard.
Yeah.
I would say. I think everyone across the league that did a bracket is thinking the same thing we are. But Florida hasn't looked great.
No.
They've had some interesting.
UConn was winning for a lot of that game.
That was
And
a tough win.
I know it's UConn, 2-time defending champ UConn, but they have not put up a team this year like they did the past 2 years. And they were an 8 seed.
Yeah. And Florida's supposed to be fantastic. They look like they're playing down to their opponent right now.
Yeah.
They look like they're waiting for that final. You can't play like that because it'll get taken away from you from a hungry team. And UConn looked hungry
Yeah.
compared to Florida. And like you said, I think they turned it on in the last part of that game.
Yeah.
But they looked like they just weren't trying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed with them right now, but I think they'll turn it on.
Now, Michigan.
That I'm impressed by.
They've looked great. Now, I picked Maryland. You picked Michigan as your sleeper picks. And so far, it kind of seems like they flipped
They've
games.
almost mirrored each other.
Yeah. First game, Michigan was close. They almost got UC San Diego, I think it was.
Yeah, they almost got bounced.
They almost got bounced. Game tying 3 up, barely missed.
Yeah.
Maryland needed a buzzer beater to beat Colorado State last night.
That game was intense.
Yeah.
I was watching that. You were at a gas station.
I was sitting in my car at the gas station yelling at my phone when Colorado State hit that 3 to go up by 1. I was pissed. The guy next to me was very confused as to what I was yelling at, but I showed him the phone and he completely got it.
Just gas prices.
Yeah, probably.
No, I think that game, I'm excited. It's been good basketball.
Yeah.
Nail biting. It makes you want to watch every game, which is, sometimes it's hard because some of the games are on at work.
Yeah.
But that really hasn't been a problem for us. We
I still watch
them. But no, I think, like you said, they have mirrored each other. Mm-hmm. There's been some parity between Maryland and Michigan.
Yeah.
One good game for both, and then one game where I think they just kind of squeaked by. But I'm excited for both. They play Florida next. Maryland does.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game.
I'm excited.
I think Maryland could take that.
I think Queen, Florida's not going to have an answer for Queen. And
do you think he's enough to win the game?
Yeah. At this point, I think he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Florida is a very well-rounded team. Clayton for them has been great, but that starting 5 for Maryland might be the best starting 5 in the country.
Okay. All right. Do you want to make a pick? Do you want to pick who wins that game?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with the team that I've got.
You're going to go with Maryland?
Yeah.
Just, you know what, for entertainment's sake, I'll go with Florida.
Really?
Yeah,
okay. Well,
just for
makes sense. Now, on the other side of the bracket with Auburn versus
they don't stand a chance against my Wolverines.
You think Auburn's going to do it?
I honestly think Auburn's going to lose.
Wow.
I think Michigan's going to win.
Okay.
I think we're going to get that Michigan State University Michigan matchup that I was talking about.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
You don't think that Broom on Auburn can take Michigan out by himself?
Ben, do you think he'd beat a Wolverine?
Probably. He's a very large guy.
He would throw that thing so far. No, I do think that they'll lose. I think UMich can win that game.
Yeah.
Again, I think they control pace. You can do it.
Yeah.
I really, really do think they'll win.
Okay.
I'm excited for it.
So,
it's been a lot of good talent this tournament.
In this tournament so far, who do you think has been your team of the tournament?
I'm going to be boring, but I have to go Duke. They've been by far the best team in my opinion.
Beat Mount St. Mary's by 30.
Yeah.
Beat Baylor by 20.
Yeah, I think so.
Flag hasn't even looked like their best player.
He hasn't. Okay. I'm not dissing Flag. He's a fantastic generational talent.
Oh yeah.
But Proctor's been
great.
I thought he outscored in that second game, no?
Yes, I think he did.
He's looked fantastic.
Yeah. And it's just hard to beat. That team, like I said before, very well rounded.
What you see is what you get. We were promised and looking forward to a great Duke team this tournament, and they've been that. They've been everything that you expect. Right, where I can't say Florida has.
No,
I think they've been underwhelming, but Duke has delivered.
I think right now the two best teams in the tournament so far, in terms of what they promised at the start of it, has been Duke and probably Houston.
Yeah,
Houston's won both of their games.
That's fair.
So.
No, I'm excited. I think, like I said, there's been a lot of talent. Cooper Flagg's been outstanding. I think he's really showcased himself well in this tournament. Even some guys on Michigan that I've been watching. Golden played great that second game.
Yeah.
He got knocked down a little bit early on, but after that, he was catching balls everywhere. And then, don't do it. And Donaldson, he had great speed. He had a beautiful sky hook in the second half. There's been a lot of good players. If you're the Wizards, what would you rank some of these prospects, if you don't mind? I'm going to give you a few names, and I want you to rank them.
Could I give you grades for them?
Grades work well.
Okay.
We'll do grades. Cooper Flagg, we'll start off easy.
A+.
A+?
The Wizards have an influx of guards in their lineup right now. They've got Koulibaly. They've got Bub. They've got Poole. Yeah. Guards that aren't afraid to shoot the ball, and some of them aren't afraid to be those creators that we need. So I think a forward, if we could get one, would be great. Flag, 6'9". He's listed at 210, which I think is probably not his correct weight.
That
honestly,
can't be accurate.
No, he's
so
a
much
big
muscle.
guy. Yeah. So I think that if we could get the main event to Washington, that would be the best case scenario.
That is something that the Wizards need.
Yeah.
You're having a historically terrible season. I think Flag would be fantastic. Did you give him an A+?
Yeah, A+.
Easy A+.
By far.
All right. Dylan Harper.
I'm going to give Dylan Harper a B+.
Okay.
In terms of prospect grade alone, he ranks very high. He is a 6'6" guard that creates shots for people. He's great finishing at the rim. He's great pretty much at every aspect of the game. It's just Washington doesn't need a guard right now. Like I said before,
we have a surplus.
Yes, we have a lineup that is full of guard talent, but other than Sarr, we've got nothing going on for us in the center power forward position. So as much as I do like Harper, and I think that he is an upgrade over the current guards that we have, it's not what we need.
No, you need someone you can build off of. And I'm not saying that you can't build off a player like that, but it doesn't fit the Wizards' current pool of players.
No.
There you go. All right, what do you think of Ace Bailey?
I'm going to give him a C+.
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 All right.
Now, I know this whole time I've been talking about drafting for need, and I think it's very important too. I think the second most important thing is to draft consistent players, and that is not what Ace Bailey is. He is a 6'10" forward, but his shot selection is really questionable. He is just so inconsistent when he's on the floor that I know he averaged 18 points a game this past season at Rutgers, playing alongside Dylan Harper, but if you're Rutgers and you have a shot creator like Dylan Harper and 2 consensus top 3 picks in the upcoming draft this year, and you don't even sniff the tournament, I know it's a team sport, but basketball is one of those things where if your player is the player that everyone thinks he is, he can carry them at least to like a 14 seed.
Yes. That's a sport where if you have a player that's different on a different level, he can elevate your team to that level and push you past where other people can't.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you have 2 projected top 3 picks and you're not in that tournament, what does that say about them?
Yeah. I think if Ace Bailey turns into the player that people think he can be, he would be much higher on my board. It's just...
Well, bad shot selection, turnovers. It
prone.
looks like a confidence...
Yeah.
Or maybe a hesitation issue. I don't know if that's coaching. If he gets to a new program, he settles in a little bit more. Maybe some veteran leadership lets him know to calm down. He looks nervous.
So if we're talking about coaching issues and veteran leadership issues, I don't think Washington is the place for that.
No, probably not. but and not saying that Washington needs to go after him, but I don't think other teams are going to be dissuaded based off of his recent play.
No.
I think that's a diamond in, not the rough, but someone who just needs some polishing.
Yeah.
And I think a consistent club with some leadership can bring out his best.
Yeah.
So I do wish him the best, but I wouldn't go near him if I was the Wizards. So what do you rank him?
Ace Bailey?
Yeah.
C+.
C+?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to Derek Queen.
I'm going to give him an A-. Now, this may be slightly recency biased, but Derek Queen is a guy that 6'10", 240 pounds is what he's listed at. And he rebounds like nobody's business, and he can defend really well.
Averaging 18 a game?
I think he's averaging 15 a game
15?
To go along with 9 rebounds a game. So he's a presence in the paint. I know that the Wizards have Sarr right now, and he's a 7-footer, but if you can have a big guy like that down in the post, that's exactly what Washington needs, along with that forward position. But, if you can have Bub Carrington and Koulibaly serving up alley-oops to Queen, That'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, you're dealing with the team with the Wizards who, to be frank, have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And one of those problems is ball possession.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting scored on and outscored by almost 20 every night.
Yeah.
So that possession really matters. If you can get a player who can help you secure the ball and just give you more time to pass, cycle, find those better shot selections, I think that greatly improves your team.
Oh, 100%.
So I do think that's a player they should go after.
That's one of those draft for needs.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Rather than best player available, I think you go for someone who you think can fix your program or help your program. Not to put too much pressure, but help your program right away. I think Dairy Queen's one of those.
Yeah.
All right, last one for you. VJ Edgecombe.
I would draft him based off of his athleticism alone, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a B in terms of draft grade, but again, that's just because I'm factoring in the draft for need position. So, but he is a 6'5", 185 pounds, I think is what he's listed at, guard that has 32 dunks in 31 games.
Yeah.
He dunks the ball at least once a game, and I just think that if you pair that with his defensive capabilities, and he has a average shot, I think he shoots 43% from the field and 35% from three. Both of those are around average, I believe, in college for guards. But his is more of a drafting based on potential.
Okay. So that's more of a builder-upper, a fixer-upper.
Yeah. I think he would come in and he would immediately give you, 12, 7, and 5. But, again, it's that athleticism brings me to put his position much higher than it might be.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
No, I agree with what you're saying. And I don't think the Wizards need a fix for right now.
No.
Because you're not going to get that in this draft.
No.
You can get Cooper Flagg. I don't think he's going to turn you into a championship or even a playoff team.
No. And the NBA...
And no one is supposed to do that.
No. I mean, there's never been a team that's gone from picking number 1 in the draft. Well,
hopefully,
finishing 32nd
yes,
at the end of last season and then winning the championship.
Which it is starting to look like they will do. Last 4 games have not been great, but my bet's looking pretty good right about now, so I'm pretty confident in that.
I'm trying to enjoy my facial hair for as long as it lasts.
Well,
honestly.
that's good. There hasn't been a lot of success for the Wizards.
No.
But the Caps have had quite a bit of success.
Yeah.
And it looks like they were the first team to get to 100 points. Looks like they're going to be in the playoffs for sure, and it looks like they're going to be the first seed in the East.
First team in a while that's gone from last team in the playoffs last season to...
I think last time was the 70s.
Yeah.
So it's an impressive turnaround for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great example of a rebuild on the fly done right.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't sell the main pieces. Now, I do think they got lucky with Oshie being injured and Backy being injured long term.
Yeah.
Frees up a lot of cap space for you. But they got rid of players that they needed to get rid of. They got rid of Kuzi, and that was a player that should have been gone a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Nick Jensen, who I don't think was a problem at all, but I don't think he fit the build of the team that we were looking for. We got younger. Nick Jensen has a lot of speed, but I think we replaced him pretty well with larger defensemen that I think really help you out, especially come playoff time. Mm-hmm. So I'm very impressed with them, and I'm excited for the playoffs, but I'm not excited for some teams that might be making the playoffs.
So here's what we'll do. I'm going to give you a potential team that the Caps might face in the first round, and you're going to tell me whether or not you would want to play them or you would pass on playing them.
Little player pass.
I'm
excited.
So first team I'll go with is Montreal.
Play. That is, I would love to play the Canadiens.
Okay, why?
One, I don't think they're going to go far if they make it in.
Okay.
They don't have goaltending.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have a great defense. Those are the two things you need to succeed in the NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
Their last Cinderella run they had, it was Carey Price. He willed that team to the final. Mm-hmm. That was a bubble year. It was a weird year. I completely understand. But he played fantastic.
Yeah.
They don't have a number 1 goaltender right now that I think they're super confident in. They've had their guys that are doing really well. Montembeault has been strong in some games, but the consistency isn't there, and the defense isn't there. Now, their forwards, they play a very, very classic game of hockey. I think Marty St. Louis does a very good job. They forecheck really hard.
Yeah.
Slafkovsky's great. You got guys like Suzuki, who's just a magician with the puck, but I do think size matters in the playoffs. and I don't think they have that size that you need to succeed. That's an easy play. Would really like to see them in the first round.
Yeah. Young team like that, always someone you want to play.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Next team, the Islanders.
That's another play for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if
they're banged up right now, right?
They're a little.
Okay.
I mean, they kind of sold at the deadline. You get rid of Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
A great player. He's been in the island for so long for him to go. I know that was probably hard for the locker room. They don't look in it. I think they're going to have a major yard sale come off season.
Yeah.
I think Lou Lamoriello is going to cut loose a lot of pieces. Hopefully the coach as well. I do not like Patrick Waugh. I think he's a terrible, terrible coach. Only coach I've ever seen pull a goalie with like 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
And you'd think as an ex-goalie you wouldn't do that to your goaltender. But anyways, I don't think they're a strong team. Now, unlike the Canadians, they do have that goaltending.
Yeah.
You have Sorokin, who hasn't had the best year of his career, but he's still a fantastic goaltender.
Yeah.
And same with Varlamov. You have two goalies that on any other team would be a starter and have proven that they can do it in the playoffs. But other than that, I'm not all that impressed. I don't think Anders Lee is what he used to be. And he was never a captain that was the highest scorer on your team, but he's a heart and soul kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's a great player. But I would love to play them first round.
Okay. Next team that we've had a lot of trouble with in past playoffs, the New York Rangers.
The New York Rangers are a pass for me. I do not want anything to do with the New York Rangers.
Now, is that just like PTSD or?
There's definitely a little bit of that going on in the head. Gosh, I still remember that Derek Stefan goal on Holtby. That was, and Doc Emmerich, best announcer ever.
Yeah.
But I can't hear him without crying. So it's no, I do not want the Rangers.
Okay.
I mean, we got gassed by them last season in the playoffs. Not that we were the same product that we are now.
Not at all.
However, I don't want any part of that team. Their regular season record is not reflective of the on-ice product.
Yeah.
They have a very good team. Don't get it mistaken. And I think a lot of people have counted them out, but they only got better in my opinion. You got rid of Trouba, who time and time again has just proven himself to be a liability.
Yeah.
Similar to Nazem Kadri when he was on Toronto. It worked out for him when he went to Colorado, but he was not what he was in Toronto.
No.
The way he was in Colorado. He changed his game, and it worked out for the better for Colorado. Getting rid of Trouba was a good idea. I don't like getting rid of some of the pieces they got rid of. Capo Caco was a mistake. They should never have gotten rid of him. But I don't want any part of that team.
Yeah.
You have JT Miller, who's a fantastic performer. He's just a mean guy to go against.
Yeah.
I don't like Panarin. I really don't like Shesterkin. And
Panera?
I'm terrified of Quick. I am terrified of Jonathan Quick in the playoffs. More so than Shesterkin.
Yeah.
Because that's a great goalie tandem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Quick has brought so many teams to where they maybe weren't supposed to be. Now, when he was on LA, they were fantastic. But those years where they weren't great, he was still pulling him. Him and Doughty and Anze.
Yeah.
Just bringing that team forward, slugging him through it. He's had a fantastic year. He looks like he's in peak form.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of the Rangers. That's an easy pass.
Okay. Next team we'll go with is Detroit.
I would love to play Detroit.
Yeah.
That is a team that I don't think they know where they are.
No.
They look like they're rebuilding and going for it at the same time. Their contracts are confusing me. You got DeBrincat and Kane, who almost feel like they're on their own separate island.
Yeah.
From the rest of the team with Larkin and then Moritz Seider. You have some great pieces there, but I don't think they all work together. I don't think Raymond is going to provide playoff scoring the way people might think he will.
Yeah.
Their goaltending, you bring back Mrazek, who was good for them in the past when they were a terrible team, but he's looked like he's kind of found a home again, but I would love to play the Red Wings. I think our play style matches up really well against them. I don't think they could contain our offense.
No.
That's a team I'd really like to play.
Inconsistent.
Very inconsistent.
Okay. Next team we'll talk about will be the Blue Jackets.
I was going to go play. I'm going to go pass. I'm going to pass on the Blue Jackets.
Okay, why? I know you do have a lot of good things to say about them.
I do. It's been a very hard year for Columbus, especially the Blue Jackets. So with Johnny Gaudreau, it's terrible news. But that team really has rallied.
Yeah.
And it's been impressive what they've been able to do on the ice with a roster that, in my opinion, isn't a playoff roster, isn't a contending roster.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you that when guys are into it and you have good leadership, and that starts from head coach down, with Dean Evanson, you can do anything. You know, you can go on a Cinderella run. And that's a team where I could see them pulling an upset off, especially against us. They are so aggressive on the puck. They hit really hard. Monahan, when he's been healthy, has been fantastic for them. Werenski, I think, has been the Norris front runner.
Yeah.
He's been the best defenseman in the league. You have a goalie that can get hot if he needs to, Merzlikins. So I don't want a part of that. I'm almost more scared of them than I am the Rangers.
Really?
So, yeah.
Just in terms of, on-ice production?
In terms of how they play.
Okay.
They keep everything to the outside in their defensive zone, and that starts with their captain. So, for me, that's a pass.
Okay. All right, last team we'll go with Ottawa. How do you feel about them?
I don't like Ottawa.
You don't want to play them at all, do you?
I do not want to play Ottawa.
Well, what?
We have not done well.
No, 3 games, and all of them have gone into overtime?
All of them have gone to extra time. We've won 2 of them.
I believe so.
Shootout and overtime, and then we lost the first overtime, I think. But I remember last season, we didn't do well against Ottawa then. I'm not a fan. And you have a goaltender in Olmark who has done it in the past. He's brought Boston to some impressive series.
Yeah.
So I don't want any part of that. I don't want to play any Kachuk brother in the playoffs. You got Giroux there with a lot of experience, a lot of playoff hockey experience, and you have a young core. Stützle's been fantastic for them, and I think he's only getting better. Same with Brady Kachuk. And their defense has been great with Sanderson. So I really don't want to play that team. We don't seem to match up well against them.
No.
They keep us hemmed in our own zone quite a bit. They prevent our odd man rushes that we try to generate in the neutral zone. They play a tight, trap system. I don't want anything to do with Ottawa. That's a pass.
Yeah.
I would say that's my biggest pass. That's the last team I'd want to play in these playoffs.
Okay. So, teams that you'd pass on: Rangers, Blue Jackets, Senators.
Yes. Give me Montreal any day of the week.
Islanders.
Give me Detroit. Give me the Isles.
Okay.
I would love to play those teams.
Okay. So it's about split.
It's about split. And I don't think the Caps are scared of any of these teams.
No.
You're first in the league. I think you're feeling pretty confident. However, matchups like this always seem to disappoint.
Yeah.
Or have an opportunity to.
And playoff hockey's different.
Hockey. I mean, it's a different season.
Yeah.
Your regular season doesn't matter.
No.
Time and time again, the President's Trophy curse has proven that. So
yeah.
I'm not a fan.
All right. Shall we go into hot shots?
If you want. I mean, if
last week
that's
was
what you desire.
Last week was a little eventful in terms of
how so?
I think you know.
Yeah, that was clever to bring in Pi Day. All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, you want me to ask my question?
Sure. Shoot.
Okay. I'm going to do a little throwback.
Okay.
In the 2018 season, the Stanley Cup winning season.
Yes, sir.
During that playoff run, obviously, they won the whole thing. How many games did they lose during that run?
Columbus went to Game 6, so that's 2 losses. Penguins went to Game 6, that's 2 losses. Tampa went to Game 7, that's 3 losses. And Vegas went to Game 5, that's 1 loss. I guess now I have to do math. I guess now.
This was my downfall.
We don't have any production team to add that up for me.
In my head, I was thinking he's going to know exactly what each series result was. My thing is, can he add that up in his head quick enough to actually get the correct answer?
I don't think our viewers understand how big of a possibility it is that I still get this question wrong.
Don't write it down. Put that pen down right now. You can't do it.
I'm going to do it in my head. I'm not going to show my work. 2, 2, 3. That's 7.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. All right, and then 1 more loss to Vegas. That's 8 losses.
You are correct.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let me hit you with one. We're going back to the Wizards.
Who wants to do that? Not even Wizards fans want to go back to the Wizards.
I honestly think they take an Ambien after every game and just coast off. The Wizards' last 4 games.
Oh, God.
It's going to be a 50-50 question. They have let over or under 480 points scored against.
Okay, so the Knicks.
4 games, 480.
The Knicks, I know they lost 122 to 103.
Oh, he's coming out with numbers.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of for sure. The worst part about this 4-game losing streak is that they played the Jazz.
And lost.
And then they played, who was it?
Portland. You lost to Portland in
Portland.
that, too. That was the first game of the 4-game losing streak. I'll be honest. I thought they had the Portland game. I really did.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it's a question of how much they lost by, I'm going to go with more. So I'm hitting the over on this.
You're correct. You are 1,000% correct. But it was close. I made it close. It was 482.
Oh, okay.
Because I know they lost 128 one game. They had a 119. I think Portland scored 119 on them. You can't have Portland score 119 points on them.
I don't want Portland scoring 100 points, period, on me.
I don't want to play Portland. So we'll both take a shot. Today we're going to do a little different. We're going to add some mumbo sauce to our shots.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of pizzazz to it.
I feel like it's difficult enough to have to keep up with the Wizards, so we deserve a little treat. So
I agree.
We'll take the Tabasco, but we're gonna add a little
good thing
little
from
mumbo
DC.
sauce in there. God knows DC needs it.
You think if the Wizards get Cooper Flag, that they can attract? Was that a heavy shot?
Yeah,
I just kind of kept pouring there.
It's okay. I'll
split that with you if you don't mind.
I'll squirt a little mumbo sauce in there.
Alrighty. Do you think Cooper Flag draws more free agents, or maybe a possibility of a few more trades to the Wizards?
100%.
He's that generational of a talent that you think he could attract some help?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I don't think any of the big-time free agents are going to be like, oh, Cooper Flag's in D.C., I need to go there.
Yeah.
But I think...
You'll probably get Russell Wilson back.
Russell Wilson?
Sorry. Westbrook.
That would be impressive.
D.C. country. That's right. God, I would love him on the Commanders. He would just be...
I wouldn't.
What a locker room guy.
Terrible.
You know, his Subway sandwich is pretty dangerous. You like danger?
Dangerous.
Is that actually what that is? Dangerous?
Yeah.
I've never gotten that up until this point. I was just like, this guy can't say the word dangerous correctly.
No, dangerous.
Now I understand.
Honestly, your ability to speak the English language or do math is really questionable. All right, let's take the shot.
I agree.
I feel like I'm only...
No, you're going to have to talk. Because I'm out.
I feel like I'm only tasting the Tabasco there.
I'm out of milk, so we got to wrap this up. I'm out of milk. No, there's no more milk in my mug. There is no more milk in my mug, Ben. Do the outro.
Oh, yeah, guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching episode 5 of DCT. We will be back next Thursday, as always, with another episode.
Wednesday.
Wow, my education has really taken a hit this episode.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.